Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man Dame DNYDC, host of the Two Mics Up podcast. And that smile and that face over there is our queen, our co-host of the show, Elisa Middleton. Lace, what's happening with you today, sis? What's going on?
Hey, bruh. Hey, listeners. Listen, we here. God woke us up,
Mm,
so we got another chance to make it right.
we
Because I
gonna
know
get
I
it right
messed
too.
up yesterday. So,
Now we gonna get it right. We gonna get it right today. And today,
right.
you, I think you mentioned that today is a beautiful day, and I think that's going to resonate throughout today's podcast with today's guest. I'm really excited to have our guest join us today. Um, but the other side of being beautiful is I want to open up real quick and thank our beautiful sponsors, of today's episode, Next Level Keys and Riddick Entertainment. As always, here Two Mics Up, we support small businesses. Next Level Keys is a full credit card repair firm that renders optimum services to their customers in all facets and walks of life. That could be qualifying for a mortgage or getting that new car. Contact Next Level Keys at support at nextlevelkeys.com. They're really doing great things out here, helping people in our community get their credit and everything up to par. And Riddick Entertainment is a multifaceted event management firm based here in Northern Virginia. Riddick Entertainment's detailed creativity and precision event planning will give you a truly meaningful and memorable experience. Contact Riddick Entertainment at info@riddickent.com. My apologies. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you all today's guest, Tamika Williams. She is the founder and executive director of Beautiful I Am. And just saying that makes me feel so
I
handsome.
so
And
about it,
so
right?
As
right.
you should.
It makes me feel so bubbly. Eh, Tamika, take a moment and introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Hi, can you guys hear me? I'm sorry. Just want to
Sure,
make
we can
sure.
hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you guys so much for having me today. My name is Tamika Williams. I am the founder and executive director of a wonderful organization called Beautiful I Am, where we work with women and young girls from all ages and all parts of the DMV.
Wow, that is so awesome. It's got me excited already being a proud dad. But I know Lisa has some questions for you. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to put my proud dad hat on. I'm gonna sit back
Right.
on this one. Go ahead,
Yeah,
sis.
yeah. It's a woman's, it's a
Hey, I'm
woman's
all for it. I
space.
support. I support. I'm
we,
all
I
for it.
we
know.
can you can use some male input too as
Okay,
well,
okay.
so that
There you
works.
go.
There you go. Well, Tamika, it's so good for you to be here, and I'm very proud of you. I want our listeners, our family out there to know. Tell us what is beautiful I am.
So pretty much Beautiful I Am is a women's organization that I started a very, very, very long time ago, probably when I was in my early 20s. I just had a passion for women. I had a passion for women and young girls winning. I always was considered, in my own opinion, the underdog. And I'm
Mm,
always rooting for the underdog because we can win and we have a place in society and in this world. So I started this organization for women and young girls. It eventually started out as a mentoring program for young girls, based off of life skills. Had my goddaughter with me one day, and she had ripped a hole in the side of her shirt on the seam, and she said, "Oh man, I throw this in the trash." And I'm like, "No, you don't. You need to get some needle and thread and sew that thing right back up, and it'll be just perfect." And she was like, "I don't know how to sew," and I said, "Huh? What do you mean you
wow.
don't know how to sew?" Like that was like a basic life skill that my grandma and my mother and my aunts made sure that I had. And at one point, school made sure that you knew how to use. So they had home ec and things like that. I can remember being excited for home ec class, and then I just realized how much home ec and basic life skills is not really being taught to our young girls for whatever the situation, whether it be in school or even at home. These young girls are not being prepared for what's to come because we all want to be grown at
Hmm.
18 until it hits you in your face and you're like, "Mommy, please take me back."
Right.
So I developed this program for women and young girls to just prepare them for life, even adult women. When we become adults, we don't know it all.
Mm,
And we don't, honestly, it is a learning process as you grow and you mature. But I felt it would be so much better to have a group of women to rally around you and help you through this journey and help you figure things out. And so, Beautiful I Am, that's what we do. We have free programming. We created programs, and they're all free. We are blessed to have great sponsors and grants that help us put on these programs in the community right now. Again, like I said, it's all free, and
mm.
women and young girls are getting some amazing experiences and opportunities and learning a lot that they would not necessarily learn. So it was our desire to answer the call of just creating an area where women, young girls can be prepared for life, and
Hmm.
women can prepare to go through life. So
That's pretty awesome.
That's
And
that's
no, it's awesome. But there's something that I heard in what you said that I don't know may resonate with some other of our audience or young women listening. You had mentioned early on that you felt like you were an underdog. Um, and I don't know, just me listening. And I don't know, Lisa, maybe you might understand where she's coming. But I want, as a man and any other man listening, I think we need to hear this. Where, where did that feeling come from? And kind of, can you maybe talk about that feeling and how that helped to play into? Because I get the vision is great,
mhm.
but I think it's important. A lot of us in our community we have that underdog feeling, but I don't think our men really understand it when it comes to our daughters or things like that.
Yeah, so it came from a sense of I was truly, I probably came up in a great environment where I had a tribe of women from all ages that surrounded me and was helped prepare me for life. However, there was still this part of me that did not feel like I lived up to the standards that society
Mm,
put on you. I
okay.
felt as though I wasn't as pretty as what society deemed girls to be pretty or beautiful.
Mm,
I wasn't the size of the little thin girls that was, getting all the attention of the guys, or, like people who deemed them to be pretty.
mm,
I felt like I was
hmm.
not that person. Like I
Okay.
was always that person that was looked to be as the underdog, even in school. Like, teachers would, I had a teacher tell me I would never be nothing and I was
Wow.
never going to amount to anything, and that I probably would be pregnant by the time I was 16. Now,
Wow.
for me, that was like fuel to my fire to prove to her that that's not going to happen. But what about girls who believe that? Who
Yeah.
fall into that. So, like, being an underdog to me is when you feel like you just don't have a place. You're in a room with
Mm,
all these people, but you don't feel like you have a place because in your mind, you believe you're supposed to be a certain standard because society has set this out. And so, and Beautiful I Am, one of the greatest things that I do is I teach young girls and women, you beautiful just the way you are. You set your standard of winning. You set your standard of success. You set your standard of what beauty is to you, and you live to that. Don't live to what somebody else puts on you. You create it for yourself. And so it was my desire to again have women and girls who feel like they're the underdog or feel like they don't belong because they don't measure up, to know that yes you do, you measure up,
right.
and because
Yeah.
you are who you are.
Wow. And thank you. I mean, I really wanted to kind of dig into that because I think it's
mm.
important. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's important that we hear this and we really understand this in our community. And I challenge a lot of our men, who may be listening to this, really support, not only your wife or your spouse, but your daughters. A lot of it, in my humble opinion, man, we have to show up and really be a part of letting our daughters know that they are beautiful enough and that they're not the underdog. And
Hmm.
we play a critical role in that. But I thank you for sharing that because I think it needed to be heard.
Yeah,
And so thank you.
no
and
problem. And I
and it
also just to
definitely go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And
Go
I
ahead.
mean, no, I was gonna say, that's another part. Like I had men, I had my father, I was blessed. My parents are still, are still married, and I had a mother and a father in the household. I had uncles, I had older like I'm the only girl on my dad's side of the family, so I had
Mm.
older male cousins that, also, were surrounding me and, telling me, hey, no. That's not how women's supposed to be treated. That's not
Right.
how girls. And I, again, as I grew up, I realized just how rich that was to just have men to if the only thing they told me is that a man not supposed to treat you that way, that was probably the best advice they could ever give to me. And so I was thankful enough to have that in my life.
Awesome. That's just so awesome. Elise, I see you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you in
totally. Yeah,
the.
no, because it resonated with me. I mean,
Hmm.
I think that for black women, black little girls, it is important to be validated. It is
Hmm.
important from birth to be validated to make sure that they grow up confident and that they understand that they are good enough because what society put on beauty,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like us.
Yeah.
So here, and I remember I was never a skinny kid. My dad was always in my life. I had brothers. But in all of that richness that was poured into me, I still was going through the dieting because I needed to, have the Gloria Vanderbilt fit a certain way and the sassy
Hmm.
Hmm.
routines and what beauty standard meant in because you can have all of that at home, but once you
Hmm.
venture out into the world, it starts to you start to regurgitate what the world is putting on you.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
then
Yep.
that's where inside as black women, we start at a very young age, being told that, I mean, I went to Catholic school and I was not a failing student. I was an AB student, but was always told because I spoke out, right?
Mm.
And
Hmm.
because I questioned things,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I just what I had a voice that you'll never get anywhere like that. You need
Hmm.
Hmm.
to. And I was told specifically, you need to learn to stay in your place.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
I was told specifically. So those type of things with brown and black women, those things sit with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mm.
then we get to work and we're quiet because we don't want to,
Hmm.
you know,
The
Offend.
rock. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
So now we start getting these bad behaviors because we're trying to navigate society because we can't be our true authentic self because we
Mm.
think
Hmm.
that who we are
It's good
is
enough.
beautiful
Good enough.
enough
Yeah.
or good enough or
Mm.
smart enough or skinny enough or pretty
Yes.
enough or whatever. So
Man.
Yes.
I
Yes.
resonate with that whole sentiment.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad that we have you on today because I think this is really important. A really important discussion. So we're gonna move on to the next question. Cause Lisa and I can get into some serious.
We go
Oh,
to
and
the
I
We,
can go there. I was going to say, and I can go right there with you guys.
we whoo, got me hot in here.
Yeah.
What is the mission, vision, and goal of Beautiful I Am?
So, the mission of Beautiful I Am is to empower and inspire professional, personal, and educational growth within women and young girls within our community. Our vision is to create an atmosphere and an environment where women when women believe that they can achieve what seems to be impossible in their life, with hard work, with some discipline, with some commitment, you can overcome any obstacle in your life and come out on top. And so that's our vision, is to see a community of women that, yeah, okay, I got knocked down, yeah, life is beating me up right now, but you know what, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go and find the resources that I need so that I can overcome this thing. And I'm going to keep it moving. And not only am I going to keep it moving, when I get to that point, I'm going to reach back and I'm going to help somebody else get to where
Amen.
I'm at. Because that is a big, I always tell my girls, they say, well, how can we repay you? Go and teach somebody else what we're teaching you. Go and help
Mm.
somebody else out. Because at the end of the day, this nonprofit is amazing, but we can't reach everybody. But if we have little foot soldiers out here taking what
Hmm.
they're learning and putting it out there in the community and teaching other women, as women, we will be so much more better for it, because we spend so much time competing with each other. And that's one of the things that irks me so bad, because it's no need to compete. It's
None.
enough for everybody out
Everybody.
here.
Hmm.
Everybody. One of my things is, my goal is to be a door opener. And I always say, when I get to the top, I'm opening the door. I want everybody to come on in here,
Hmm.
and understand that it's enough out here. And so, that's our vision, and our goal is to, just advance our mission and our programming within the community, because this all sounds good, but there are challenges that we face as an organization, that I'm sure we'll get in, and talk about a little bit later. But there are challenges that we face on a weekly, daily basis, that hinders us from doing some of the things that we do. But that's our goal, is and to also expand our programming, outside of our area, which is in the Capitol Heights, Maryland area, but to also, start doing little pop-up spots, um, out there. And then again, just to pick women up, those women who, I always say, who feel like they don't have a voice. They're the voiceless community. I want to give them that voice back. Our desire in our organization is to give them their voice back, to let them know that their voice matters, that people want to hear from you, that whatever you've been through, it's not for nothing. It can help someone else out. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking to do.
I think it's to be commended and applauded, because this really is something that really is in my opinion, somehow it's deep rooted, but it's hidden. It's not really
Hmm.
talked about a lot in our community. And I say that, I'm just going back to like some of the stereotypes and things that you mentioned that you were dealing with. How do you, I guess, broach those conversations though with others or other young women who may be feeling the same? Like, how do you broach that, and how do you move or navigate through that conversation with, let's say, someone like maybe Lisa, or another young woman? Like, how do you maneuver through that, and what does that process maybe look like? Just to, if you can give us like a little idea of what that may look like.
Okay, I'm gonna give you. It's very simple. Transparency.
Mm,
Being willing to be transparent about what you've been through, what you've overcome, or what you even may be in right now,
mm,
and to not look at your circumstances or your situations as as something that has its foot on your back. It's
mm,
like, acknowledge it's there. Yes, I'm going through, I'm struggling, my credit, whatever the situation is, acknowledge that it's there, but being transparent with. And that's another thing that, we learn to do as women, especially in the Black community, is put this mask on,
right,
and
right.
pretend like everything is okay when everything is not okay. But I believe if we can be more transparent with one another, and for women to be more accepted of someone being transparent, because it's a hard thing to be vulnerable and be transparent with
Mm,
someone about what you're going through. And I think, again, as women, we don't make other women feel comfortable to share what is going on with them. And so we have so many women who suffer in silence, but smile on the outside, but
mm,
deep down inside, they're suffering. They
mm-hmm,
are, they are, they're at the edge of giving up, just losing hope. And, I just think it is, for me, my conversations are always transparent. I'm like, look, I may not have the worst rap sheet, but it's a rap sheet behind me, and
right,
I
right.
can relate to you. And even though I may not be able to relate to you, I understand. I get it. Some things you think you would never ever see yourself involved in or into, and look, life happens and you found yourself in there. But I'm that person that comes to say, all right, you there, but how are we gonna get out? We
Uh,
can't
Right,
stay there.
mm,
We
right.
can't stay there. That's
mm-hmm,
not a healthy environment for you. That's not a healthy place for you. You're stagnated. You're not growing. You're not becoming the woman that you want to become. So let's start identifying some ways we can come out of there. And it's gonna be
mm.
hard. I'm not selling no hoop dreams. It is gonna be hard work, but I guarantee if you put that hard work in, you're gonna come out on top.
Right.
Man, that's real. That's real right there. And I
Totally.
appreciate it again. That we need to hear this. I love a lot of things that you said, because it makes me think back to my childhood, or even in my current relationship, my marriage. Women do have it hard. Our black women do have it hard. and
Mm.
I can relate to putting on masks and smiling it during the pain and all of the things that you mentioned. So I like the transparency part. That resonated with me. That's something that now I need to do. I need to learn how to do some things different.
Mm.
And I thought that was very poignant in what you said.
Because
Um,
we don't answer the question honestly.
no,
Mm-mm.
If someone says, "How are you?" we never say, "I'm not okay." We go,
right.
"Oh,
Yep.
great," and inside we are dead, dying, going through at our lowest, but we never say it's not okay. We're not okay, and we need to let people know that it's okay to be not
Be not
okay,
okay. I
and let
agree.
someone know that you're not okay. Because
Hmm.
Yep.
guaranteed, the person who asking 9 times out of 10 ain't okay either.
Okay, either.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, like girl, oh God, thank you so much. I ain't
Right,
okay either. I've been
right,
waiting to meet somebody to be honest
right.
with.
Real talk. That's real talk right there. So I just want to ask then, where do you, Tamika, where do you envision, or 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you know, how does Beautiful I Am impact the community positively?
That's a great question. So I see ourselves in the next 3 to 5 years, having a safe haven center, where women and young girls can come and get training. They can be fed, both physically food and spiritual food, which you need to grow as women. I honestly see us being able to get over this barrier, and get into these school systems and into the communities. I just see us expanding, and again, that safe haven building that I envision is a place where I feel like I want women. I don't care if you just came out of your mess 2 seconds ago. You can come over here and get yourself some help and get pointed in the right direction. We just see ourselves being a resource to the community. We want to be that organization that when a woman or a young girl thinks of I need help, they think of Beautiful I Am. We want to be that. We want to make such an impact that when women are having those moments of self-doubt, because it's real, we do. I don't care how good you got it and how wonderful your life is, there are moments of self-doubt, there are moments of insecurity. We want them to know that despite all that, I'm still beautiful, I'm
Mm.
still good enough. I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to be the person that I was called to be. So that is the mark that we want. We want to leave a beauty mark on the community. And we want to just, again, impact. We want to, I believe that the way of fixing things is starting at the root. So my vision is starting at the root, getting these young girls when they're young and start cultivating. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. We have a book club, and we do a affirmation with them before the session starts at the end. And we tell them that part of the affirmation is I matter. My voice matters. I'm good enough. I'm beautiful enough. So again, just getting that into women's head, because honestly, and this is something I've learned in my journey. When I realized how beautiful I was, not from this, I mean, because I look good, but not from that.
And you do.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
not from this, but this heart. When I got this, when this heart got right, when this heart um was knitted back together, and all those broken pieces was brought together to still being brought together to make this masterpiece that I was created to be. Um, I the confidence came along with me. So what was going on in the inside could match the outside, and I
Outside.
was a complete person. And so, and once I learned that I was beautiful, even when I fall down, because I fall down, I mess up. I don't always cross every T and dot every I. I get back up because it's
Hmm.
life and it's
Right.
reality. So that's something that, again, we envision Beautiful I Am just being that heartbeat in the community that reminds women and young girls, like, sis, you are beautiful, and
Yeah.
beauty starts from within, and then it exudes out.
Mm. Man,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
I love all of
Absolutely.
that. I'm really in tune with all of that, and I mean it's touching me. Got my head standing up. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good with this one today. I really, love what's being said today. And before we transition into our second part of the conversation, I do want to take a moment and take a pause for the cause for some of our sponsors of the Two Mics Up podcast. TD3 Insurance Agency and Regina Leggett. She's our Legal Shield independent associate. As always, here on Two Mics Up, we're all about supporting small businesses. TD3 Insurance protects and covers all your insurance needs from auto, home, renters, specialty, and life insurance. TD3 is licensed in the DMV, North Carolina, and New York, and a brand new office opened at 3985 Prince William Parkway, Suite 206 in Woodbridge, Virginia. And Regina Leggett, our Legal Shield independent associate. Do you need legal advice or legal representation? The days of no longer being able to afford an attorney are long gone. Get the legal advice, a counsel, and representation that you need. Contact Regina Leggett at reginaleggett.wearelegalshield.com. And now that we're back here for the second part of our conversation with Tamika Williams, founder and executive director of Beautiful I Am. Like I said, before we got into the break, like I said, I was getting chills and my hairs were standing up. I'm just excited. And if you could, Tamika, just take a moment and talk to us about some of the amazing programs provided by Beautiful I Am.
Sure. So, like I said, we have three programs right now that we are constantly running. The first program is a reading and comprehension program, and we do that in the form of a book club for girls ages 4 to 10, where we focus and we work on reading and comprehension within our young girls within the community. We also work on self confidence and public speaking, and also teaching young girls the importance of being unified as in a young age. So that's our book club ages 4 to 10. Then we have our life skills, beautiful me mentoring program for girls ages 11 through 18. Again, that this session focuses on everything in that entails to life skills, from learning how to change the tire, breaks, learning how to measure finances, learning how what finances are, just everything, learning how hygiene, how to carry yourself as a woman, just everything to prepare them for what's to come in life. And then we have our I Am Beautiful Women's Circle, and it's for women 19 and up. And there we focus on three S's, and that is to get help women get started in something, help them sustain something, or help them start over. And because we, again, as you go through this journey called life, you hit these bumps and you got to reset and restart. And that's what we do in our women's circle. We cover various topics. We've dealt with finances. We even talking about life insurance. Ways to, if you can't get life insurance, other things that you can do to ensure that you have proper burial. Things pertaining to, we have topics, even on like postpartum and menopause, those things that, we don't really talk about, those heat flashes. Like, we're laughing at these women and their personal summers, but the things are serious.
That
Not to
Mm.
thing
say
is
that I'm
real.
it is, and the emotional, changes that come along with that. Like, that's so I am learning as I'm, becoming more seasoned, that
I like that.
that I'm learning that your hormones and everything starts changing, and at sometimes you think you can go crazy, but just understanding that it's a part of changing, you growing up and your body maturing and things like that. So that's what we do in our women's circle, and just again, just love on the women, to let them know that you're not by yourself in this. You ain't the only one that is in need. You're not the only one starting over. You're not the only one that's starting something, and you're not the only one that needs to be sustaining something.
Mm.
We all are in this together. So those are the three programs, and the beautiful thing, they are all free to our
Wow.
Wow.
community.
And
Wow.
that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Because let
That's
me tell
awesome.
you, being of a particular age, baby, honey,
It gets
you
real.
cannot, okay. And if you don't have that support, sometimes you really don't realize what's actually happening to you until you
Yes.
are. because you don't want to believe it. So you got to be medically diagnosed to be like, well, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you going through menopause, and
Mhm.
Right.
it's
Mhm.
okay to, because when I entered menopause, I was freaking out because I'm like, what? Because I guess I thought it would never happen to me. Not sure. Not sure how that was going in my brain, but I'm like, I just was freaking, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle that overcome of hot flashes. So I was freaking, like literally freaking out.
Hmm.
And then,
Mhm.
thank God that I do have a circle that was like kind of talking me through it. And, so it's always good for people to, especially women, to surround and
Yeah.
support each other, because we have these unique things that happen to us that only,
Mhm.
we can
Other women can understand. Yeah.
navigate through.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. But I do want to know, how can the community um get involved in Beautiful I Am? It sounds like such an awesome program. How can
I
anyone, get involved?
I love that question because we it is you would be surprised, as great again as this sounds and as great of the things that we do, our biggest struggle is getting the support from the community, is and I'm saying like all the way down to getting parents to just agree to bring their kids out, or women to not just RSVP but actually show up and attend a session that could be beneficial to them.
Mm.
So honestly, the support that we really need is we need the community to, recommend young girls to our program. If you know of a young girl who, they may not have the support system to get them to the sessions, we go and pick girls up.
Wow.
That's how serious it is for us. Like I was on a call the other day and with some other black executive directors, and the lady, and I was telling her, the struggles we have is that, our membership, it fluctuates because, girls' parents start saying, oh, I don't feel like driving her over there. I don't feel like bringing them out there, or I don't feel like doing this anymore, which is unfortunate because at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about this young girl who
Indeed.
needs to be prepared for life.
Indeed.
And then they have their own issues too, and we try to meet them where they're at too. But but this other executive director told me, she said to me, "Cause you got to get desperate. These girls are dying. These girls are becoming, women who are uneducated, who don't care, who don't have morals, who don't have values, who don't even know what it means to, pay a bill. And you have to get desperate." She was like, "You have to stop, worrying about who ain't showing up and go after these girls." And so that is where
Wow.
we are pivoting to. We're going after them. We're creating programs, incentive programs to get these girls and women into our program because we know it's beneficial. We know it's going to help you in the long run. I think about when I was a child and my mom used to my parents used to make me go to church, and I'm like, for what? Like,
Hmm.
but now I'm like, thank God these
God.
people
Yep.
made me go to church. Thank God I was raised properly. Thank God I had to sit in the kitchen and help the women cook.
Hmm.
Even though I want to be outside playing with the boys, playing
Right.
football, and because I was like a tomboy, even though I wanted to do those things, I learned how to take care of a home, by watching my mom and listening to my grandmothers and my aunts and things like that. So the community can help us. We are actually about to start a community advisory board, and we just want to hear from the community. We want to hear what are the issues that you are seeing in the community, and what we want to do is we want to create programming that answers those issues. But we can't do it by ourselves. We need the community. We need the community to again recommend young girls or women to our program. Come in and volunteer. You just don't understand how much it means to a young girl who does not have a support system, to have someone be consistent in their life and tell them that they're going to make it, that they're going to
Mm.
overcome, that I'm going to walk with you through this thing called life, and I'm going to teach you everything I know. You just don't know how powerful that is to a young girl
Yeah.
who does not
Mm.
have that,
Yes.
or they have it but they need to be reinforced, because
Enforced.
let's be honest, sometimes we don't want to hear what mommy and daddy got to say. But
True.
Janice said to me, I'm more, I'm more
Active.
with to listen. Yes.
Yep.
So there's so that we again support comes in so many different ways. It could come by recommending young girls and women to our program. It could come by joining our community advisory board and just coming and joining those free sessions and just air
Wow.
out your issues or air out things that you notice, so that we can kind of help and work with the community, along with community officials to create programs that can help get our girls. We want to save girls. We want to
Yeah.
get them ready. We want,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know that we are personally tired of seeing our girls just this I don't care attitude, and
Mm-hmm.
it can be seen everywhere you go.
Yep.
This lack of respect for oneself, this lack of
Yep.
love, and just we're tired of it, and we want to see our girls. We want to see our girls boss out. We want to see
Okay.
them become women that, again, we may not know it all, but we got a foundation that we can build upon. So
And
Man.
it's
Well.
important. And I'm sorry, Dane, really
No, go
quick.
ahead.
It is very important because sometimes what happens in our community is it's generational. So
hmm
when when women or young girls are just taught to keep going,
Mm.
to uh we not have any aspirations because life is just so hard, so we dare to aspire,
hmm
right, for
hmm
more because of the fear of I don't deserve more. This is it for me.
yes. Oh my
You know,
gosh,
it's a
yes.
perpetuation when we look in our most inner poverty communities, because what mom is actually doing is just trying to provide and just trying to make it. So it may not be that mom is not pouring in, but mom needs someone to
Good
pour
one.
into
Yep.
That's
her
right.
so
Yep.
she
Yep.
can pour into the child.
Cow.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm beat down. I'm working two jobs. I'm trying to feed
Yep.
these kids. But what as we get older, as Tamika and I are saying, when you get a little bit more seasoned, you recognize from the past that self
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
care and self, to take a time out for yourself, if it's just for a second, to go down to beautiful I am and take a breath, get in, be replenished, be
Mm-hmm.
validated, so you
Mm-hmm.
can
hmm
go out and then you'll perpetuate that to your child. But if we don't break these cycles, right,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
then we have a whole bunch of hopelessness. And that's what
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
we see in our impoverished community. And the girls are very, very important. They dear to my heart too, Tamika. So I understand your drive, your passion, and your commitment to this, because we are pushing out, we need to be pushing out, we need to be pushing out young women, quality, self-confident, unapologetic, unafraid, aware, to go and navigate this world. If we are now the most educated demographic in the world, imagine what we
hmm
would do if we pull up those
Mm.
behind us.
Yes. Yes, and you spoke on something really important, because we do this event every November. It's called the Amazing Moms Thanksgiving Give Back, and we plan. Well, our girls actually they plan a Thanksgiving dinner. And they actually prepare the food. They decorate. They get a budget, and it's two things. One, we want to honor women and moms who are trying their best, to provide for their kids, and it's, especially these single moms, like, trying to be a mom, trying to be a dad, trying to be everything that you need to be, for your child, and nobody's being anything for you. We want to give them a day where we just love on them, where we just pour out on them. And now, young girls, it's important for us to do this with them because we want them to see what moms go through to make sure that you look good, to make sure that you got what you need, to make sure you have the bare necessities. And on top of that, we like to teach these young girls with this event that party planning and putting things together is no joke. Okay, so when you start asking for all these extravagant stuff, from mommy and daddy, you get a little taste of it. And every year, when those young girls have to, because we do like we get an industrial kitchen and they cook and everything. After they have to cook, clean, and put things up and decorate, they like, no, no, ma'am, this is not it.
Yeah.
But it's an important teaching tool for them, and to also thank thank their parents. Be grateful for what you have. I don't care if it's an aunt or grandma. Be thankful for that. But we do that every November, and we also give the single moms Thanksgiving bags. But it is important that that's why we created that women's circle, hoping that the moms will come and be a part of it, so they can get what they need too. Because, like you
Hmm.
said, these women trying to do it all, and you can't do it all, and you're gonna miss some things because you have to be everything. But just imagine if you was to be in an environment of women to say, look, well, I could probably come and help you do this, or I could show you a resource over here for this, or I've been there. This is how you do it. This is how you manage it. This is how you make nothing out of make something out of nothing. Like, that's what we desire, especially for me. Because again, my heart goes out to women who are they're trying. They're
Hmm.
trying. And
That's
for
all we
whatever
do.
That's
reason,
all. That's all you. That's
yeah,
it. That's all you do.
that's all you can ask for, somebody to
Hmm.
try. And that's why I said it's important to be transparent and be accepted to one another. Because, yeah, my story may not be that, but honey, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm going to help
Help you. Yeah,
you.
that's important. That's really
And
important.
sometimes, all as I mean, as I navigated life too, sometimes all you need is just someone that can just help you get over the hump.
Yes.
Because we have
Yes.
this, as Black women, our pride. We don't want to ask for help. We don't ask nobody for anything. We're gonna make
Mm.
it. We're gonna manage. But if you just had that little ugh,
Yep.
just to
Yeah.
get you. So, and that can at least alleviate one thing out of your life,
Yeah.
where it
Yes.
doesn't have to be so difficult. Because being a mom, a wife, or the doctor, the candlestick maker, I mean, we're
Yeah.
everything. Like, the
Every hat.
psychologist,
Uh,
we're all of that, and then no one's pouring back.
Hmm.
So after you depleted all of that, I mean, whew, it
mm.
Yeah.
becomes a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Mm, mm, mm.
Look at
Well,
him. Help.
yeah. Look, look. Hey, look. I know my position. My position. My position is over here in this corner. I'm with. I'm with it. Look, I support it 3,000%.
Yes.
I
Yes, you
support it.
do.
Like I said, as a proud dad, all of these things. As a male, I pray and I hope that I've instilled and helped to uphold and support my wife in instilling these things in my daughter. And
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think when I look at her as the young woman that she's become, I know there's days that she still struggles.
Hmm.
But I think the
Oh
best
yeah.
thing that we have is that she has a thing where we have a thing. Look, you want to talk, yo? Like you just want to talk to dad. Tell me, look, I don't want to talk to dad. I want to talk to Damon. Take the dad hat off.
Hmm.
This way, I don't. I'm not. I won't judge anything that you're saying, or anything that you're going to. Because sometimes you need to open up.
Yep.
And if she can't do that with her mom, or I'm prayerful that she does it with me. But if she doesn't, like you're saying, though, she has a community of women, though, also that
Hmm.
she can do the same. So I mean, I love it. I'm proud. I'm happy to have this conversation. I
Hmm.
just know to sit over here and just smile and say yeah to certain things because I ain't trying to get cut. So
Nah.
But it's important that, like you say, you hear these things from Tamika, myself,
hmm
your wife, your daughter, because you never know. You may be in a circle with a man that you need to go ahead in
all
and let
day.
them
Hmm.
know. Listen, bro, this is what's
What
going
it
on. I learned something. Here's what
real
I learned.
talk. But that's real talk, though. I think not even I think I know. This is why I enjoy our platform. I really hope that our male listeners and our male audience can really get something from this,
Yeah.
because we don't have all the tools either. We're just as or maybe more broken and damaged than our women, and it was designed that way. But we
Hmm.
have to figure out a way to pick ourselves up and pick up the pieces and be a
Yes.
part of fixing the problem. And
Yeah.
by having these conversations, I hope that this is a start maybe for someone who maybe tuned in and was just like, yo, what's this about? And maybe it resonates with them. And it'll make them and it'll empower them to want to do something different. And that's really all I hope for, by
And
having this platform.
And just to piggyback on that, one of the things that I inspire, like I said, helping women get to that place where they're not as broken, or they are becoming, they're seeing things come together pretty much in life. My hope also is that as women, when we start getting ourselves together, we can coexist with men in unity. And it's not this, oh, a man supposed to do this and a man no, we gonna help each other.
Right.
especially in the Black community. I think it's important that children see daddy and mommy both, working to build me up, to grow me up.
Mm-hmm.
And even not even mommy and daddy, it's a good thing to see, especially the Black community, our men working, our women and our men working together to accomplish things.
Yep.
Because the reality is women need men and men need women. Period.
Yeah.
We need each
Period.
other.
Point blank. Yep.
We
At the
need
end of the
each
day.
other. And like you said, but there's that piece where we got a lot of broken men and a lot of broken women, and all this brokenness coming together is
It's not
creating
working.
toxic environment. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's not
And then
working.
it's something that you said, Alicia. It is becoming a generational situation, that toxicity just begins to trickle down, and each generation it gets worse
Worse.
It
and worse
Mm-hmm.
works.
and
It
worse
gets
and
Mm-hmm.
worse. And
and
at
worse.
some point, somebody has to say, you know what? I'm going to take the baton and I'm going to reverse this. I may not be the best in it, but I'm going to do my best to reverse this curse in my family.
Mm. Well
Yes.
said. That's well said
Sure.
right there. And that is
Yeah.
the goal.
But
At the end of the day, in my opinion, that's the goal that we really want to see. We change this curse across our
Mm,
community because this has
yes.
really been put upon us for far too long, and it's really up to us now to make that change. So thank you,
Yes.
for sharing that and saying that. I'm gonna sit back. Lee. I think you got one more. I see. I'm gonna see.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm trying to stay on task, right, with the
Nah, go ahead. You know how we sometimes just go sideways and we just do what
Yeah.
we do. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys are dropping so many nuggets throughout this, and it's just so true. And it's so
Mm,
good that we're having this conversation because we need transparency, right?
mm-hmm.
We need each other. We don't need the great divide. We already have that.
Yes.
Time for
Yes.
healing. It's time for us
Yes.
to come together as a community and our next generations to be healed and come up correctly
Hmm.
and not
Mm-hmm.
broken, whole, able to be transparent. If we have our boys coming up correct and our women coming, our little girls coming up correct, that's the healing that we need.
Yep.
We need to
Mm-hmm.
take away all that toxicity. So I am so blessed and thankful for your program because this is something that we do need. We do need to focus, and your director, Miss Williams, Mrs. Williams, is correct.
Okay.
Desperation. We
Desperation.
know
Yep.
how our people could be. Sometimes what they don't feel is important right
Mm-hmm.
now
Yep.
in their world, but you have the bigger picture. So
Yes.
Hmm.
desperation to get us moving because we don't always
Yeah.
move,
No.
Yep.
but we
Mm-mm.
should.
Yeah,
Right.
and this, you know what? And honestly, sometimes it's comfortable just being where you at. Like
Mm.
not, not aspiring to be any greater, any better than this. But I always tell women, don't you know there's so much stuff out here for you to obtain? It's this greater thing. It's a world outside of the DMV, and
Huh.
you'd be surprised how many young people don't
You're
realize
not.
that. They don't
Look.
I
understand
Look.
it.
We can talk about that all day too. We coming
that's
from
a
the
Exactly.
coming.
whole nother
That's a whole nother
show.
conversation. That's a
Yes.
whole nother conversation in
Yes.
itself. And that's
Yes.
just not just the DMV. I think that's just us as people.
Everywhere.
Yes.
We're originally from New York, and I can tell you some of the stories and things. Oh, you think you better than, and you this,
Mm-hmm.
you that, because you're exploring outside of your box and you're doing
Yes.
things outside. So that's just a whole nother conversation
Yes.
that stems from that. But you are right.
And
We
that's
need to.
rooted in fear, though.
That's
That
and
That
I was
is
just
is.
fear. That is rooted in
Yes.
generational fear because you only going to do what you know. Because when you know
Mm-hmm.
better, you do better. But
That's
right.
if
right.
you don't have any dreams or aspirations because this is what you know. You don't
Yep.
know
Mm-hmm.
anything outside of this. You don't want to aspire to be anything more than the next generation of whatever is going on. And
Yep.
Yep.
the generation lived on this block for 344 years,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
this is it, and this is the way that we do. And
Yep.
we waste a lot of good minds, a lot of good talent, and it falls
Mm-hmm.
to hopelessness. So
Mm.
that's
Yes.
the part that that honestly I believe that you are about, you're overcoming with the program, not
With
about
the
you,
program.
you're doing with the
Yeah.
program is
Agreed.
Yeah.
overcoming this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I have a cousin, two cousins actually, who again, for me, the DMV is all I know. Like I was born and raised here. I have two cousins who was born and raised in DC as well, and they decided to go across the country to California, and try it out and see what happens. And it was not easy, but just to see them now both flourishing and doing great things and what they aspired to do. And one even went out there and took his whole family. He went out first and then brought the family with him. And it's just like, man, yeah, see, like we can do this.
You
Like,
can do it.
and his thing is, I'm just trying it out. I'm gonna come back, but I want to show my kids, something else that they could, that there's something else in life. And if we could just, like you said it, that fear is so debilitating. Fear
Yep.
will cause you to miss out on the riches of life. And I'm not talking just materialistic. I'm talking
Yep.
about, some jewels that people
Jules. Yep.
can impart into you, but you
Yep.
so afraid to look different. Are you so afraid to not do it the way mommy and daddy did it, and you miss out. You miss
Yep.
out.
You
It's so
miss
true.
you miss out. Fear is paralyzed. Fear
Yep.
is
Hmm.
paralyzing.
Paralyzing.
They're not getting the information. So the resources that you're providing is good, because I know for myself as a woman, if I had that resource at the time that I needed it, I
Mm.
Hmm.
probably would be so far along. Not that I'm not happy where I am, but I
Right.
see my disconnect when I go back over my journey. If I just had that resource that could say, you could do this. Because
Yeah.
even the
Hmm.
simple thing as being a homeowner, I never even I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from the projects. Home ownership. What is that? No,
Right. Right.
that's not something that you hear every day. That's not
Hmm.
something you aspire for. That's not something that you have knowledge for. So you think that that is so beyond me. Oh no, I could
Hmm.
never, because
Hmm.
Yep.
how can there's no maintenance. I got to do it, and I don't have it.
Right.
You
Hmm.
start until you really find out. And it's just like, if you had these little, like you said, it doesn't mean that just little resources here and there. I think that
Hmm.
what you're doing is very important and empowering. So I commend you
It,
on
Yeah.
that. I
it,
question, dog, and I'm just we going way
nah.
off topic.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Go.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this because it's so true, like you said. Like, if you don't see that it's possible, if you don't see somebody showing you, because that's the
Yep.
problem. In the end of the day, we don't see, because we have. When I was coming up, I came up in the community. Like, if I was doing something, please know that my next door neighbor was calling my mother and telling her,
Yep.
and please know that my mama gave my next door neighbor permission
Yep.
to tap me up to get me
Yep.
together. Like, I was raised during that time when your community looked out for you, and then people shared their life with one another.
Yep.
We have gotten into this place where we live in a box. I go in my house. I don't speak to you.
Don't
I
bother
don't
me.
know you. I don't want to know you. I don't want to know
Hmm.
what's going on with you. I just want to just deal with me, and that's it. And
Right.
again, that transparency comes in. If we can stop living this, I call it a selfish life, and when you just keep all of your stuff to yourself, like when you get these things, share that with everybody. Teach them. Knowledge is power. Wisdom is
Okay.
power.
Okay.
Nobody can take that away from you. They
Nope.
can take your money, they can take your cars, but they can't take the knowledge that you
That's in
have to
your head.
obtain those things.
Hmm.
So as long as that's my thing, is like, we don't in our community see other women or men living these possibilities. I tell my young girls, I say, y'all may laugh at me, but I'm telling you, if you want to be a clown, man, we're gonna help you be a clown. Okay, we're gonna
Hmm.
show you how you can be an independent clown and
Independent
make some
clown. That's
real
right.
money. Okay, like nothing is impossible. And that's again something that we strive to teach our young girls. I don't care what it is, you can do it. You can obtain it, you can achieve it. I'm same as you, like home ownership. Like, I see my parents own it, but I never knew everything that went into it. On top of the fact that I was taught right, but I just went and did my own thing. We all do it,
We all
and
do it right.
you know, and jack my credit up. But
Mhm.
I would have never imagined that I could go from a 515 credit score to a 790 and not really,
Exactly.
and not, honestly, I didn't do it with any like outside help. It was me reading. It was me on YouTube, because I believe if you want to do anything, go on YouTube. You can learn how to be
Okay,
an
you can find.
astronaut
You can
pretty
find it. You
much.
can find it. You can
Hello.
find it. Hmm.
That's the thing. Like, it's stuff out there to teach you. You just got to take the time out to do it. And so for me, I was self-taught how to restore your credit, the things that work. I read things, and you know what I do every day? When somebody tell me they trying to buy a house but they have an issue with credit, oh, let me show you. Here's my plan. This is what I
Yep.
did,
Yep.
and it
That's
works.
it.
Hmm.
It
That's
would get you
it.
to where you be at. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, and when I give this to you, I want you to go and give it to your aunt and your cousin, and like spread it out
Share,
so
spread it
people
out,
can
share it.
have,
Yep.
yeah, so we can all have that knowledge.
Man, look,
Absolutely.
awesome,
Man. This
awesome.
is so good. Look, this
Hmm.
is so good. We could be here all day.
Yes.
But I am curious though, how did the pandemic impact beautiful I am in the way that it helped to serve the community?
People ask that question, how did it impact, or I feel like it was a great thing because it
Mm,
taught us how to pivot. It taught us
okay.
how to think on our feet. It taught us how not to just sit down and let things, because it could have been easy for us to say, oh, well, you know what, pandemic done, we shutting down everything. Nope. How can we still meet the needs of these young girls and these women, and serve them without being in person, virtual? And I went and we did research on different platforms that we can use, and we did it. We made it happen. We worked with our young girls and our young women. We made sure they got the tools, everything they needed to be able to be successful in the session. So honestly, I feel like the pandemic was great for us. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, me and my entire family got COVID.
Oh
So
wow.
we did have to shut down for a month because I was sick. But even though with me being sick, it still was like, okay, all right, we can still make this happen. It really showed me how perseverance always it propels you. If you
Yeah.
persevere, it would propel you to that next level. And so it again opened up another opportunity, because here's another community of young girls. Unfortunately, we have a lot of young girls who have anxiety issues, who don't
Hmm.
like being around groups, who don't like
Hmm.
coming out, who does not like being outside their house. Well, now guess what the pandemic taught us? That we can create a virtual program that can reach those same young girls who want to be in their room and do
Awesome.
one-on-one mentoring.
That's
Right.
So
awesome.
it was great for us in that aspect, because it was like, hey, we even expanded. Like without last year, we had girls coming in from Philly. We had girls
Huh?
coming in from Delaware, from New Jersey, who joined into our program and participated in the sessions every month.
Nice.
So it's like, yeah, now we can actually, and we're keeping it going. We have that platform for girls who are from not in the DMV, that can join us virtually. Even when we're in person, we figured out a way to bring the virtual girls in to participate with us. So the pandemic has actually been great for us,
Man, that's
because
awesome.
Good.
it taught us how to overcome and not to give up.
Man, I love that.
Good.
I love hearing that, man. That's awesome to hear that it's growing and expanding, because that's at the end of the day, we all want to. I know for me, listening and just hearing the story, I want this to grow and really stretch across our nation, because I mean, it's really important, and that's awesome to hear. I'm glad that the pandemic has actually been a huge help. And
Right.
Yes.
with that, what is like, so what do you see or what do you feel is next for beautiful I am?
Good question. So, the next thing for beautiful I am, again, is to become embedded into our community. We're ramping up our external communications with like government officials and political officials. We're going to HOAs and civic associations
Mm,
and asking, can we just get 5 minutes to introduce our organization to you? Can we get 5 minutes of your time to talk about how you could help us? We really want to expand this reading and comprehension program, because when we looked at some of the numbers within our area that we service, the reading and comprehension levels for young Black girls is very low.
wow.
Um, and that's from, and especially during this pandemic. I'm sorry, we had to do the virtual learning, but there's some young people who didn't get what they
Mm,
were supposed to have, had they been in a classroom and to be able to get that one-to-one. I mean, for whatever we had no that was out of our control,
Right.
but we really want to amp up our reading, our book club for for these young girls ages 4 to 11, because again, I am a firm believer. If you can read and comprehend, you can do anything. There is
Anything.
nothing
Period.
Agreed.
that you
Period.
cannot
I agree
do.
on that.
Period.
And nobody can take it away from you. You
Mm-hmm.
think about in the slavery time, and I hate to bring this up. That's why they didn't want you to read. That's why the slave would get beat for knowing how to read and
Yep.
comprehend. Because God, the things that you would understand and know
Mm-hmm.
that is available to you from just reading and comprehending is just out of this world. And again,
Yep.
it's something can't nobody take away from you. They
Mm.
cannot take that away from you. So we just really want to amp up that. We want to become embedded into the community. We are working to again just grow our membership, because right now it's in a flux, it's in a flux, and that's okay. But we are thinking of new things to do. We are actually about to start some pop-up sessions where we're going to find communities. We're going to come and set up, and we're going to have a session.
Mm.
And we're going to let the
Can't wait.
community know that we're going to be out there working with the young girls. Send your daughter. Look, we in your community. Then you ain't got to drive
Yeah.
nowhere. Just send them out
Right.
the house. Send them to
Okay.
us. You know.
Okay.
So we again, for me, is that's getting desperate for me. Is like
Yes.
Look,
I'm so, and it's not desperate to grow an organization. It's desperate to help our community. I'm
that's the
Yes.
key.
desperate
I
to
think
see.
that's
Yes.
the key. I think people need to really hear. The desperate is to really help our
Yes.
community, and I think
Yes.
that's where it resonates most. People. This is not about anything else. It's
Mm-mm.
about helping the community, and I think that's a big plus. And kudos to you and your organization. And we wish you all success. Here are two mics up, and anything that you may have coming up. You popping up in the community. It was something that we can coordinate. Where we gonna pop up with you. Let us know. We want to come out
Oh
and
man, that's
help.
awesome.
We want to support. Anything that you got going on on your calendar that you want to share. Send it to
Please.
us. We'll send it out. We'll put it out there. We'll do our best to support you. I mean, what you're doing is amazing. Um, it's one of the best things that I've come across in a while, and I'm just proud and happy and thankful that you took time out of
Absolutely.
your schedule to be here with us today.
I'm grateful for you guys reaching out to us, because the more opportunities we have like this, is the more opportunities we have to reach out our community and to just tell people and expose them to what it is that we're trying to
That's
do
it.
within our community. So I really appreciate that. Thank you
So,
so much.
thank you. Well, sis, this was a great one.
It
I
was
feel good. I'm warm inside. I'm
beautiful.
man, I'm good. I'm feeling good.
You're
Before we
warm and
go,
fuzzy.
I'm all warm and fuzzy, all warm and fuzzy. But before we even jump into that, Tamika, please take a moment and share your social media or any information that our listeners and our audience can reach you at, meet you at, help you at. Like spill it all. Take a few minutes to go ahead and share that with our audience.
Great. So thank you. Anything that you guys can do to help support us, whether it's in kind, financial gift, or just coming out and spending time with you. Honestly, that's more important than any money, is coming out and spending time and supporting what we're doing in the community. You can reach us at our website. It's www.beautiful-im.org. Again, it is www.beautiful-im.org, and you can follow us on our Instagram, where we are very active. We are at Beautiful I Am INC, and also on Facebook at Beautiful I Am.
All right. So you all heard it here. Make sure you go check Beautiful I Am out. Before we go, Leash, you have any words, anything you want to share before we go, sis?
I'm full. I'm grateful. I'm proud of you, Tamika. I definitely support this organization. I think that what you're doing is awesome. It is definitely needed. So I'm just glad to have met you. I'm glad you have came on. I think that you're touching on things that women, young girls, that we do honestly need. We need to start, breaking generational things. We need the confidence. We need the validation. And we need to know that there is help and resources available to us. So, again, kudos to you. Glad to have had you. I'm just so full. I could go on. You know, I'm going to go on a tangent, but I'm not.
It's all good, man. It's all love here. It's all about support. Everybody, thank you for checking us out here on Two Mics Up. Before we go, I want to thank our two additional sponsors, DJ Coco Brown and Bubbles and Bruce Philly. As always, here on Two Mics Up, we are all about supporting small businesses. DJ Coco Brown, aka Chanel Brown, is a real name, is an experienced DJ who provides both mobile and virtual musical services. DJ Coco Brown is based out of the Delaware, Philadelphia area, but she does travel. She's been here to the DMV to rock some joints with Two Mics Up. Contact DJ Coco Brown at chanel.brown@gmail.com. And our friends at Bubbles and Bruce Philly. Look, this right here, they've been on the show. Crazy experience. It's a vintage mobile prosecco and craft beer bar. You've never seen anything like this. Is they this contact them. Tell your mom and them if they're in the Philly, New Jersey area. Contact Bubbles and Brews at Philly@getcozybars.com. It's crazy experience. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. Again, thank you to all of our show sponsors. One other thing I want to share with everybody. Coming up in September, you'll be able to check Lisa and I, the Two Mics Up crew, over at the Virginia Black Business Expo, September 11th and 12th, with our friends at the Virginia Black Business Directory. They're putting this together at the Fredericksburg Expo Center. For more information, check them out at vablackbusinessdirectory.com. Be about 150 vendors, food, entertainment, a whole bunch of things just really going on. This is going to be a whole total experience. I'm telling you, y'all are not ready. If you want to be involved, reach out to our friends at the Virginia Black Business Directory. Get yourself a booth. Come down, whatever. Just come down, hang out.
Let's do it.
Let's just do it. Like, I mean, I don't know nothing else better to say. Just come on down, hang out. Let's do it. With all that being said, last thing, if you are watching this today, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the Two Mics Up. Go ahead, hit that little thumbs up. Let us know you like the episode. Hit the bell so you can get all new notifications from Two Mics Up, everything that we got going on. You can follow us online at www.twomicsup.com. Catch us on our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Two Mics Up. And like we always do at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.